the majority of the time being an actor is pretty unglamorous. And obviously I'm speaking from my own personal experience, and everything that I say is going to be from my own biased perspective and where I'm at in my acting career. I feel like one of the bigger lessons that I'm currently trying to learn is the importance of enjoying your day-to-day life when you don't have an audition, or you haven't booked anything, or you're not on set working, and the importance of having things outside of acting that bring you happiness, joy, fulfillment. And it could be some other kind of creative outlet, or it could be something that's totally not in the creative field whatsoever. And not being hyper fixated on, oh my God, where's my career going? What's going on? I'm not achieving anything. Like, we know if you're hyper fixated on wanting a certain outcome, a result, it usually doesn't happen because there's so much attachment, and that happens with actors all the time. You know, this like,
I gotta audition for this show, I gotta get in front of this casting director, I gotta book this, or I want to book this, or I need to book this.
All these things that you cannot control. You cannot wrap your happiness and self-worth around things that you cannot control. And we all know this, but we all yet fall into the trap of doing it, especially actors. Again, this is not just an actor thing, but I think just for general happiness as a human being, it's really important to also embrace like the very quote unquote like ordinary, mundane parts of your life. Just making yourself a cup of coffee in the morning, drinking it out on the patio, for instance, cooking yourself a meal, lighting candles around in your living room, snuggling up under the comforter, watching a movie, just very basic things, going for a walk, hanging out with friends and family where you're really not doing much, you're just lounging around, or having great conversations with them. These are all what we would probably classify as very normal, or maybe more ordinary things. They're not the big events. And don't get me wrong, it's always cool to do the big stuff too. Go on a around the world trip, vacation, go do all this traveling. I think it's great to travel. You should definitely do it if you can. But when you go on a vacation, you go on these massive trips, it only gives you a temporary burst of happiness, I find. And then because once it's done, it's done. And then you have to go back to your daily life. And I think the things that consistently happen on a daily basis are things that you have to focus on and be grateful for. And of course, it's fun to go to some lavish party or something. Oh my God, I literally just spat. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, it's fun to go do those things. Go to big events, go to fancy parties, but it's very temporary kind of happiness. And eventually you always end up coming back to your day-to-day life. Being an actor is really weird, though. It is strange because one moment you could feel untouchable. I'm queen of the world, I'm the shit. Your confidence is through the roof, you're strutting around because let's say you got some epic audition, or you got that huge booking, whatever. Your ego could not be any bigger. And then the next minute, you're having a nervous breakdown, you're on the floor in the fetal position crying and having an existential crisis because you didn't book the job or whatever, whatever it may be. That is literally how it is sometimes as an actor. It's the highs are so high and the lows are so low. But I will say it's also up to the individual to choose how they're going to react to certain scenarios, certain situations. But I feel generally speaking, that's how a lot of us are. It's just so funny when you think about it, when you just take a step back and just look at it, you're like, wow, this is nuts. What am I doing? And I also think it's very interesting, the different reactions that you get from friends and family when you are pursuing a career like acting, because it ranges from extremely supportive to people who are downright concerned for your well-being, to people who are very critical or judgmental, to people who think that it's just so awesome and cool, and to people that are oh man, I wish I had done that when I was younger, or continue to pursue my dreams. You get all kinds of different responses. I feel very unique responses depending on who you're talking to. I just wanted to say all that. Whatever, I don't even remember what I just said. Okay, bye. So I went to Trader Joe's yesterday and decided to pick this up. I've never had it before, but I guess it's a Korean-inspired bulgogi beef fried rice with kimchi. It was in the frozen section, so I'm just gonna make this for lunch, keep it nice and easy, and then I think I'm going to top it with a fried egg. Okay, the meal is complete. Got some rice and my egg on top. It doesn't look very appetizing, but hopefully it tastes good. So let me try this with a little bit of the egg as well. It's actually pretty good. Now, admittedly, I did add a little bit of soy sauce, and I have this like Malaysian chili condiment thing that I got from Singapore that I added into this dish as well because I wanted a little bit of spice. And I think those additional ingredients definitely helped this dish out. And of course I added in an egg. And so that's how I kind of cook when it comes to like dealing with frozen meals or whatever. I tend to add a few extra ingredients or like an extra topping or something just to like spruce it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out, and it was a super easy lunch.